I remember the exact moment my parents decided to give my company to my sister. Not sell it, not restructure it, just hand it over. 10 years of sleepless nights, 10 years of risk, stress, and sacrifice. And apparently, all of it could be replaced by one shiny business school diploma. What they didn't realize was that while they were planning to take my company away from me, I was already planning how to take everything with me. And when the dust finally settled, their little takeover plan destroyed the very company they were trying to steal. If you've ever been underestimated, betrayed, or had someone try to take credit for something you built with your own hands, then you're going to love this story. So hit the like button, subscribe for more real Reddit revenge stories, and let's get into one of the most satisfying business betrayals you'll hear today. About 10 years ago, I started a tech company from my tiny one-bedroom apartment. And when I say tiny, I mean the kind of place where the kitchen table doubled as an office desk and the Wi-Fi router sat next to a stack of unpaid bills. I was 23 at the time. No investors, no rich connections, just an idea, a laptop, and an unhealthy amount of determination. The first year was brutal. Most nights I slept maybe 4 hours. The rest of the time I was coding, emailing potential clients, fixing bugs, or desperately trying to convince companies to trust a startup run by a guy who still had ramen noodles in his grocery budget. I got rejected constantly. Emails ignored, phone calls unanswered, deals falling apart at the last second. But slowly, painfully slowly, things started working. Our first client came in year 2. A small contract, nothing glamorous, but I remember staring at that signed agreement like it was a winning lottery ticket. Because to me, it meant one thing: the idea worked. Over the next several years, the company grew. First, it was just me, then 2 employees, then 5, then 20. We moved from my apartment to a shared office to eventually having our own small building downtown. And every single brick of that company felt personal because I had built it. Every contract, every partnership, every late-night decision. But during all those years, one thing never really changed: my parents' favoritism toward my younger sister, Sarah. Sarah was the golden child, the one they bragged about at every family gathering. Sarah got another award. Sarah's professor says she's brilliant. Sarah's going to do incredible things one day. Meanwhile, my business, they treated it like a little hobby, something temporary, something that would probably fail eventually. But when Sarah graduated from a prestigious business school, suddenly their attention shifted. Because now, in their eyes, Sarah wasn't just the favorite daughter anymore. She was the future CEO. And apparently, my company was the perfect place for her to start. At first, they floated the idea casually. Maybe Sarah could join your company, my mom said one evening over dinner. She could help you grow it. My dad nodded. She's got the education for it. I hesitated, but I also loved my sister. And honestly, I thought having family involved might actually be nice. So eventually I agreed. Sarah joined the company in a business development role. At first, things were fine. She was smart, confident, and she had some genuinely good ideas. She suggested improving our marketing strategy. She pushed for expanding into new client sectors. Some of her suggestions actually helped. And for a while, I thought maybe this would work. Maybe we'd become that rare success story where family and business blended perfectly. But slowly, things started changing. Sarah began acting less like a team member and more like she already owned the place. She started making decisions without consulting me. Small things at first, approving minor expenses, changing meeting schedules. Then bigger things, negotiating deals, reassigning team members. When I confronted her about it one day, she smiled like I was overreacting. "Relax," she said, "I'm just trying to help the company grow." But something about the way she said it bothered me. Like she wasn't helping me, she was replacing me. And the worst part? She was incredibly good at winning people over. Sarah had this effortless charm, the kind that makes people trust you instantly. Within months, several members of my leadership team were taking her side during meetings. They liked her confidence, they liked her ambition, and some of them started quietly treating her like she was the real decision maker. I tried to stay calm, tried to believe it was just growing pains, until the night everything exploded. It happened during a family dinner. My parents had invited both of us over. Nothing unusual about that. But the moment we sat down, I noticed something strange. They looked excited, like they were about to reveal a surprise. And then my dad cleared his throat. "We've been thinking a lot about the future of the company." I frowned. "The company?" He nodded. "We believe Sarah has the vision to take it to the next level." For a moment, I didn't understand what he meant. Then my mom spoke. "We think it might be time for a leadership transition." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. "A transition?" Sarah sat there quietly, not surprised, not confused, just watching me. That's when it clicked. This wasn't a discussion. This was a decision they had already made. My parents thought Sarah should run my company. My company. The one I built from nothing. I stared at them in disbelief. "You can't be serious." My dad leaned forward. "You've done a great job starting it, but Sarah has the education and strategic mindset to scale it further. Scale it further." Like I was just the warm-up act. I looked at Sarah. "Did you know about this?" She didn't even pretend to deny it. "We just think the company needs stronger leadership. Stronger leadership." 10 years of work, reduced to a polite insult. That night, something inside me broke. But I didn't yell, I didn't argue, because in that moment I realized something important. They weren't asking. They truly believed the company belonged to the family, not to me. So I went home, and I started thinking, not about fighting them, but about leaving them with nothing. Because here's the thing about startups. The real value isn't the logo. It's the people, the contracts, the relationships, and I knew every single one of them. Over the next several weeks, I quietly built a new company, a completely separate entity, and one by one, I moved the most valuable parts of the business. The clients who trusted me personally, the employees who believed in the original vision, the contracts tied to my relationships. None of it was illegal. Everything was carefully structured. By the time my parents and Sarah were finalizing their little leadership takeover, the heart of the company was already gone. Then one morning, I walked into the office, called a meeting, and calmly announced my resignation. The room went silent. Sarah looked stunned. "Wait, what?" I took a breath. "I've decided to start a new company." Someone asked the obvious question, "What happens to this one?" I shrugged. "That depends on you." Then I explained. Several of our largest clients were moving with me. Most of the core development team, too, because they had already signed offers with my new company. Sarah's face turned pale. "You planned this?" I met her eyes. "You planned to take my company." Silence. My parents called me later that night. They were furious, accusing me of betrayal, of sabotage. But for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty, because they had already tried to take everything from me. I had just taken it back. Over the next year, my new company exploded with growth, without the family drama, without the power struggle, just the original team building something together again. Meanwhile, my old company, it struggled, without its core developers, without its biggest clients. The leadership my parents had believed in so much couldn't save it, and eventually it faded into irrelevance. The takeover they planned ended up destroying the very thing they tried to steal. Sometimes the biggest mistake people make is assuming they're entitled to something they didn't build. Because when you take away the people, the relationships, and the trust behind a business, all that's left is a name on a building. And that's not worth very much. If this story had you shaking your head at that level of family betrayal, hit the like button and let us know in the comments. What would you have done in that situation? Would you have walked away, or done exactly the same thing. And if you enjoy satisfying revenge stories like this one, make sure you subscribe for more Reddit revenge stories just like this, because trust me, the next one might be even crazier.